Another thing that people have to deal with a lot, and just, it's probably majority of people at some point have to decide whether student loans are right for them.
Yeah, and that could probably be a whole nother topic. So let's just cover a few things. You're exactly right. I mean, I know I had student loans, and
Sure,
and
I did too.
And my wife, she did not. She was lucky enough to not, but she inherited them with me because it took a while to pay off. And just encourage everybody, if it's an option for your kid, to look at it and make sure that that there is an option for them to go to school.
Yeah.
But now with the soaring cost of education, you really need to evaluate if your kid is going, the amount of money you could potentially be borrowing or paying versus the degree they're going to get.
Yeah, and I know we talk about this a lot, but you can start seeing, and I know we all want the best for our kids, but you can kind of start seeing what their strengths and weaknesses are and skill sets are, kind of toward their end of the high school years and that kind of thing. And if there's no need for them to spend $100,000 on an education that's going to earn $40,000 a year, and which is nothing wrong with that kind of wage, but
if they're wanting a house to their own and a car, and then all of a sudden have to pay a large bill for a student loan, then that money that becomes an expensive life. We just encourage people to borrow as little as possible.
And part of that is just looking at what the payments are actually going to be when you do take that loan. If you do take it, is it going to be something that I could stomach when I get in the workforce? I read a quote that was pretty funny to me, given the fact that we've all in college. It's a lot easier to maybe take a little less loan and eat ramen noodles and live a little less high in college than it is when you're 30 years old in the workforce, and you got to, because of all the bills you got to pay, you got to eat ramen noodles. So
yeah, it's a good thing. I think a good friend of ours did kind of sat his daughters down and asked them what they wanted after college, and then as they were trying to determine what school to go to or their degree, and he made a list of what they wanted and then what it would cost, and that kind of helped them realize the expenses associated with the student loan and the cost of college too, and was it what path did they want to take? So, but that we could speak more about that at a later time as well, and individually with clients as well. But
there's this thought out there that the government's going to take care of all our student loans. And I wouldn't count on that.
I would not count on it. Probably if you're taking the time to listen to this podcast, then you probably aren't in that category.
Sure.